Want to speak real Bulgarian from your first lesson? Sign up for your free lifetime account at BulgarianPod101.com.
Welcome to BulgarianPod101.com's Български в 3 минути, the fastest, easiest and most fun way to learn Bulgarian. Здрасти, аз се казвам Ива. Приятно ми е. Hi, I'm Eva, nice to meet you. In this series, we're going to learn basic Bulgarian expressions. It's super easy and it only takes 3 minutes. In this lesson, you're going to learn how to introduce yourself in Bulgarian. But first, it's important to clarify that in Bulgarian, there is a difference between the formal and the informal language. Let's first see how Bulgarian people introduce themselves in an informal situation. Здрасти, аз се казвам Ива. Приятно ми е да се запознаем. Hi, I'm Eva. Nice to meet you. Здрасти, аз се казвам Ива. Приятно ми е да се запознаем. Start by saying Здрасти, аз се казвам. Then say your name. Здрасти, аз се казвам Ива. Finally say Приятно ми е да се запознаем. Здрасти, аз се казвам Ива. Приятно ми е да се запознаем. And now let's see the same sentence in formal speech. Здравейте, аз се казвам Ива Георгиева. Приятно ми е да се запознаем. Hello, I'm Eva Georgieva. Nice to meet you. Здравейте, аз се казвам Ива Георгиева. Приятно ми е да се запознаем. So, what has changed from the previous introduction? Let's take a close look at these together. Здрасти has been substituted with the formal greeting Здравейте, formal Bulgarian for hello. Аз се казвам Ива has not been changed. Аз се казвам stands in both cases for I am or my name is. However, during a formal self-introduction, we also say our last name. So I said Eva Georgieva. Here, you would say your full name. Finally, the ending remains the same. Приятно ми е да се запознаем. It is a universal Bulgarian greeting, meaning nice to meet you. One more time. The informal way to introduce yourself in Bulgarian is Здрасти, аз се казвам Ива. Приятно ми е да се запознаем. The formal way to introduce yourself is Здравейте, аз се казвам Ива Георгиева. Приятно ми е да се запознаем. Now it's time for Eva's insights. When you introduce yourself, it's a good habit to shake hands in Bulgaria. And if you're not sure whether to use Здрасти or Здравейте, just say simply Добър ден, which means hello and is used during the daytime.
Добър ден!
Добър ден!
Как сте?
Добре съм, благодаря.
Здравей, аз се казвам Петьо.
Здрасти, аз съм Таня.
Приятно ми е да се запознаем.
И на мен също. In this lesson, we are going to learn how to use good manners as we thank people. Готови ли сте? Are you ready? Да започваме! So let's start. There are several ways to thank someone. Let's start with the easiest. It's just one word. Благодаря. Благодаря. Благодаря means thank you. When saying thank you very much, you just need to add много. Много благодаря. Много благодаря. Много means a lot. So много благодаря is like saying thank you very much. During the last lesson, we mentioned both the informal and the formal way of speaking Bulgarian. Благодаря is the most common way to thank someone. If you want to be more casual, there is another word you should use, and you will be amazed which word that is. Merci. Merci. Merci is a loan word from French, but it is pronounced with the typical Bulgarian hard R. R. It is used mainly in informal situations. Merci. How do you answer? It's easy. There are basically two different ways to do it. The first is няма защо. Няма защо. Няма защо literally means there is no reason, but it is the equivalent of don't mention it. The other way to say you're welcome is the word моля. Моля. Literally, this word means I beg or please, but it has become a common way to respond to someone thanking you. So when someone says благодаря to you, we can simply reply with няма защо or моля. Now it's time for Eva's insights. If you're not sure about whether to use merci or благодаря, keeping it simple is always your safest bet. You don't have to worry about formal or informal situations. Благодаря can be used with just about anyone, anywhere, and at any time.
Добре дошъл, заповядай.
Благодаря. Това е малък подарък от мен. Заповядай.
О, много благодаря.
Няма защо.
In this lesson, we'll learn some of the most common greetings used in Bulgaria. Готови ли сте? Are you ready? Да започваме! So let's start. The most used informal greeting is Здрасти. Здрасти. Здрасти means hi or hello. We should only use this greeting with friends or relatives. There is one more word, which is informal way to say hello. Здравей. It has the same meaning as здрасти and is used when we speak only with one person. Здравей. And now let's continue with the formal way to greet people. The most general version is Добър ден. Добър ден. Literally, добър ден means good day. So as a rule, we can use добър ден only during the daytime, from morning until evening. During the evening, we say добър вечер. Добър вечер. Вечер is Bulgarian for evening, so добър вечер means good evening. During the morning, we say добро утро. Добро утро. Утро is Bulgarian for morning. Добро утро, добър ден, and добър вечер are used when we meet someone, but when we leave, we use another word. In this formal situation, Bulgarian people use довиждане. Довиждане. Довиждане means goodbye. Finally, in Bulgarian, we have an expression meaning see you soon that can be considered both formal and informal. До скоро. До скоро. Now you can greet people in many different ways in Bulgarian. Let's review them all again. When meeting in an informal situation, здрасти or здравей for one person. When meeting older people or someone we don't know in the different times of the day, добро утро, добър ден, добър вечер. When living in a formal situation, довиждане. When living no matter whether it is a formal or informal situation, до скоро. It's easy, isn't it? Now it's time for Eva's insights. Remember merci from the last lesson. Bulgarian uses a lot of words borrowed from other languages, and we also have one for goodbye. Ciao! Just like Italian, this is actually the phrase you will hear the most in Bulgaria. Friends often say it to each other when leaving. Try to say it to your Bulgarian friends. Ciao! During the next lesson, we'll learn the meaning of the phrase говорите ли английски? Do you already know it? We'll be waiting to talk about it with you in our next Български в 3 минути lesson. До скоро!
Ох, извинете,
Да.
кракът ми.
О, съжалявам.
You are at a bus terminal where you're attempting to buy a ticket from a ticket counter. There are 4 different counters. Which counter should you line up at to go to the south side of the city? Which counter should you line up at to go to the south side of the city? The third counter is the counter for bus tickets that go to the south side of the city.
За южната част на града.
You are at a bus terminal where you've just bought a long-distance ticket. Which row and seat number are you in? Which row and seat number are you in? The ticket says that you're in the 8th row in seat C.
8 ред, място С.
You are at a bus terminal where you're reading the schedule for long-distance buses. On which days are there no buses running? On which days are there no buses running? There are no express trains running on public holidays and the third Sunday of every month.
Официални празници. Третата неделя на всеки месец.
You are at a bus stop where you're waiting for the 301 bus. There is a notice posted on the bus timetable. What does the notice say? What does the notice say? The notice reads, "The 301 bus does not stop here."
Автобус 301 не спира тук.
You just got off a bus at a bus terminal and you're looking to catch a taxi. Which direction should you go to get to the taxi rank? Which direction should you go to get to the taxi rank? You should head east to get to the taxi rank.
Изток.
Добър вечер.
Извинете, меню ако обичате.
Разбира се.
Извинете и вода ако обичате.
Веднага.
Извинете, искам да поръчам...
Да.
Okay, hi everyone. How are you today? I'm your host Daria, and this is an episode of BulgarianPod101.com. Maybe one of the most important episodes because it gives you the top 25 Bulgarian phrases that they are. I mean, these are key phrases that you need to start a conversation, to introduce yourself, to say the basic phrases of every language. So if you want to be 25 Bulgarian phrases ahead of the rest of the people who don't know those, grab a pen and a notebook and let's start. Здравей. Здравей. Hello. How to start? How should we start? I think there's no better way to start but to say здравей. Zdravei. Hello. Well, hello everyone. Zdravei is like an informal way to say it. You can say zdravейте, the formal one. Also plural, yeah. You can say zdravейте to multiple people. And also if you hear that some Bulgarian people say zdrasti, zdrasti, this is the short version of hello. Just hi. Добро утро. Добро утро. Good morning. How do you usually start the day? If you see somebody, you would greet them with Добро утро. Добро утро. Good morning. This phrase I love a lot because of the vibration of it. Добро утро. Practice your R's in this phrase. Also, I like to use it because we're one step ahead of our southern neighbors, the Greek people, who don't even have a phrase for good morning. They just start from Kalimera, which is the day. I don't know why nobody celebrates the morning over there. We do. Добър ден. Добър ден. Good afternoon. Moving on later in the day. Добър ден. Добър ден. Good afternoon. Now, here's a tricky part because it may be 10 a.m. in the morning, but you can hear a Bulgarian saying добър ден, which literally is good afternoon, but we use it more as good day to you. So remember it, добър ден. Лека нощ. Лека нощ. Good night. When you go to bed, you would hear a Bulgarian person wishing you leka noșt. Leka noșt. This is good night. Good night, good night. I remember a song from my childhood. There was a television show just before the little kids would go to bed. And the show was called Leka noșt deța. Good night, children. Deța. And it was about a character named Sâncho. Sâncho, which is like a sleepy boy. Anyway, memories from my childhood. Moving on. Как се казваш? Как се казваш? What's your name? Now that you've learned how to greet people according to the part of the day your encounter is happening, how to properly introduce yourself? You can ask them for their name. Как се казваш? Как се казваш? This is pretty much asking what's your name. You can also make it plural or formal by saying те at the end. Как се казва те? What is your name? Formal. And how do we reply to that? Аз съм Майя. Аз съм Maya. I'm Maya. Аз съм Дария. Аз съм Дария. Аз съм Дария. This is a way of saying I am Daria. And what do we usually add after that, after we introduce our name? Приятно ми е да се запознаем. Приятно ми е да се запознаем. Nice to meet you. Usually after we say our name, we would add. Приятно ми е да се запознаем. Right? It's very simple. Приятно ми е да се запознаем. Nice to meet you. Now, you can just use the first part of this phrase, which is приятно ми е. It's nice. That's pretty much enough for Bulgarian. But if you want to sound more like a true Bulgarian, you gotta say приятно ми е да се запознаем. Как си? Как си? How are you? Как си? Как си? How are you? This is a classic question you can ask anybody, and it's a door opener, by the way. I've heard it use it quite a lot in the US or other countries. However, please, I beg of you, when you ask как си, really show interest and really mean it. Как си? Благодаря, добре. А ти? Благодаря, добре. А ти? I'm fine, thanks. And you? And usually there is the answer. Благодаря, добре. А ти? Благодаря, добре. А ти? Literally, I'm fine, thank you. And how about you? Благодаря, добре. Благодаря, добре. А ти? I'm fine, thanks. And you? Literally, благодаря is thank you, добре is good. Thank you, good. А ти and you. You can juggle with that, or you can say how you really feel. You may be moody, you may be happy, you may be anxious. So you can add whatever you like in that little phrase. Благодаря, добре. Благодаря, не добре. Моля. Моля. Please. Моля. Моля. It's a very important word because it shows politeness. It shows good intention. This is the Bulgarian word for please. Please. Also, moля means I beg you, I beg of you. But you can also add it to any sentence if you would like to request something. And we'll see later on how to use моля. Благодаря. Благодаря. Thank you. The next word is a very important one because it shows gratitude. Благодаря. Благодаря. One word. It means thank you. But the root of the word is благо, which is the best things or the nice things. Даря, I'm gifting them to you. Like nice things I'm giving. So you can say благодаря. But also for people who don't feel confident in saying this long word in Bulgarian, it's fine for you to use the French merci, because we've stolen that one in our language. Пак заповядай. Пак заповядай. You're welcome. And usually if you say благодаря, you can say right afterwards, пак заповядай. Пак Заповядай. You are welcome. And you have the nicest of nicest things in your relationship with the person you have just met. Nice base to work on from then on. Да. Yes. Here are the two most important words to reply a yes and no question, which are the words yes and no. Da in Bulgarian means yes. Ne, no. Ne in Bulgarian means no. But don't confuse it with the type of nodding, because all over the world this means da and this means ne. But only in Bulgaria it's vice versa. So this would mean no and this would mean yes. Not ne, da. Why? I can't even tell you. I can't. Some psychology thing, sociology, I don't know. Добре. Okay. Remember the phrase that we've used before? Благодаря, добре. Replying to how are you feeling today? Good, thank you. Good. This is the word добре. Добре. This means okay in Bulgarian, and it's okay to use it as much as possible, just because of the good vibration of it. Добре, добре. Извинете. Извинете. Excuse me. Another of the top 25 Bulgarian phrases that everybody should know is извинете. Извинете. Excuse me. Yes, people should learn how to use this word as much as possible because, first of all, Bulgarian people rarely use it. Why? If they step on your foot or they push you or punch you, do something horrible to you, they would say, Opa. They may even crush your car and they will say, Opa, which literally is oops. They would not say, excuse me, I apologize, and they would just go away. Yeah, because we are such people. But really, a lot of people say opa. Opa, which is, I think it's a Greek word as well. Opa. Opa! Opa, hey. Okay. Съжалявам. Съжалявам. I'm sorry. Another good word to use is съжалявам. Съжалявам. Now, this means I'm sorry. And I'm sorry, but a lot of people find difficulty pronouncing the... Now I'm having difficulty speaking. Pronouncing the in the beginning, because we have this sound. The Brazilian people would understand perfectly what I'm talking about because they have this sound. But if you don't, stress on съжалявам. Съжалявам. It actually makes your body feel good after you say it. So I'm sorry. Use it as much as you can. Колко е часът? Колко е часът? What time is it? So you're walking the streets of Sofia or Plovdiv, and you have a meeting with a local person to show you around. You've agreed to meet at 2 o'clock somewhere, but you don't have a watch. The battery on your phone is dead, so there is no way for you to know is it 2 o'clock already or not. Here is a way to ask for it. Колко е часът? Колко е часът? What's the time? Usually, as an answer, you would get just a number. 2, 2 часа, 3 часа, 4, and it's useful if you know the Bulgarian numbers. Къде е туалетната? Къде е туалетната? Where is the restroom? another very useful phrase, which is definitely among the top 25 Bulgarian phrases you should know, is this one. Къде е туалетната? Къде е туалетната? The double O. Okay, where is the restroom? I don't know why I feel saying that learning this will open a lot of doors for you. Hopefully it will open a lot of doors for you and you don't have to wait in front of the restroom. But in Bulgaria, there are a lot of public restrooms around, or you can use any cafe or restaurant for this. And literally, you can just say toilet and they'll understand you because toilet, toaletna. Very similar. Изчакайте за момент. Изчакайте за момент. Wait a moment. Here's another phrase. If you hear somebody say изчакайте за момент, изчакайте за момент, they usually mean wait a moment. I hope you don't hear this in front of the restroom door, but in case that happens, you know that you have to wait. Hey, sometimes in life you have to wait for the good things to come and to happen to you. Колко струва това? Колко струва това? How much is this? So you've had a wonderful day sightseeing and you've met the local person and then you enter a souvenir shop. But in the souvenir shop there is no price announced. Now, if that happens, you can ask, колко струва това? Колко струва това? How much is this? And again, they'll give you a number as an answer. So it's always handy and good to learn the Bulgarian numbers first. Pomost. Pomost. Help. If you need help, ask for it. You can say pomost. Pomost. Help. Yell it as loud as you can. Pomost. Pomost. It's a funny thing that we Bulgarians have been exposed so much to Western movies that almost everybody would know the English version of pomost, which is help. However, you will sound like a true Bulgarian if you learn pomost. До скоро. До скоро. See you later. We are almost towards the end. It seems proper that I give you 2 phrases of how to part with people. So bear with me. До скоро. До скоро means see you later. Довиждане. Довиждане. Goodbye. Another word would be довиждане. Довиждане. Goodbye. And don't be afraid to use the Italian ciao because it's so short and so easy and everybody uses it. And this is another foreign word that we have stolen and claimed in our Bulgarian language. Не знам. Не знам. I don't know. Не знам. Не знам. This is a way of saying I don't know. And in my personal opinion, this phrase can get you out of almost any situation. Whatever they ask you, you just say не знам, and you can add български at the end of that sentence. For example, не знам български. And that will be enough for the people to leave you alone. If you do know Bulgarian, which you do by watching BulgarianPod101.com, you can just say знам. I know. Bulgarski. Bulgarian. Знам български. I know Bulgarian. Great! Seems like we've reached the end of this episode of BulgarianPod101.com, and you now know the top 25 Bulgarian phrases everybody should know. Great! That's amazing. I'm proud of you. And by the way, for more Bulgarian, click subscribe here under this video. Leave me a comment about which of this you would say to a stranger, or go to BulgarianPod101.com for more lessons in Bulgarian. I'm your host Daria, and I can't wait until I meet you next time. Until then, do skoro!
Want to speed up your language learning? Take your very first lesson with us. You'll start speaking in minutes and master real conversations. Sign up for your free lifetime account. Just click the link in the description.